Song.
Audio.
We're live.
I also, that's what you're gonna do.
As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Business Zone with
Christo.
and Coach Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And today, folks, we're gonna have an amazing show. Happy Women's History Month. And today, folks, we're gonna have an amazing guest on here. And of course, yes, she is a woman. And we're gonna talk about her business and her accomplishment. So, co-host, tell me, how are you doing today?
I am good. Next to Black History Month and my birthday month, which is in May.
Oh, yes, I
This is my
forgot.
I know this is my favorite, third favorite month of the year, because it celebrates women, and it's a shame that we have
To have a
uh,
month for that.
to have a month. But at first we only had a day, and then we had a week, and I'm going to read some stuff about that. But so now we got a whole month.
Well, that means you're climbing up, co-host. Because first it was a few hours, and it was a day, and you got a week. Now they're giving us a month. So
They're
before
giving
you
us
know
a
it,
whole
it's gonna be 6 months then a year.
right, a whole. And here's the thing, Gilbert. Considering we all came from a woman,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
that
true.
that nurtured us,
Yeah,
and after we got here, went through some pain to get us here, and after we got here, they made sure we were fed and taken care of. Not that the men didn't have any contribution, but
yeah.
I have to say the woman's much more committed.
But see, the thing about it is, man, no matter how strong the man is, or no matter what happens, when we first achieve some level of accomplishments, who are the first people we shout out to? I want to shout out to my mom. Thank you, mom, for all the support over the years. See what I'm saying?
Right, exactly. I mean, yes, exactly. We just thank our mom, then next our grandmothers,
Yeah,
because most of our families, our mother is the pillar. That's the
yeah,
pillar of
yeah.
strength, right?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
where you go when you're hurt. That's where you
Yeah.
go when you're elated. That's where you go where you're excited. Is the mom. So
The
yeah, we
nurturing, the support, the
uh
taking care of the boo-boos, everything.
all of everything. That's what moms do. so it is interesting that we have to isolate a month, but just like Black History Month, like Hispanic Latina Hispanic Month,
Heritage Month,
you get
yeah.
Heritage Month, you have to we have to do these things. So
Now you
so
know why the female entrepreneur is so near and dear to my heart, because I understand the struggle, even though I wasn't a part of the struggle. I understand the struggle, and I want to do whatever I can to contribute to growth and success.
exactly. And if any of us came from single parent families and that mom was that parent, oh my
Yeah,
God, I know as an adult and I look back at my mom, struggling to take care of three kids and not letting you know that there was any troubles or she was feeling troubled about anything.
yeah,
I used to, hey Greg, I used to say, I don't know. After becoming an adult and thinking back at my mom after she moved us out here from New York, and she was divorced, and she wasn't making a whole lot of money, but she's taking care of the three of us and herself. And I was like, how in the heck are you doing this, lady? Because I mean, I used to tease her. It's like, wow, mom, you can take a nickel and spread it out for a whole 30 days. I don't
obvious.
know how you do that, but you're amazing at budgeting.
I told you the story, man, about my mom when I was growing up, and my siblings. We're going to school. she only have like the last $5, and she would split that among us, and she doesn't have anything to go to work, no lunch, nothing, man. And it always makes me feel so sad when that happens, because she wasn't well educated or anything academically, because she was smart as heck, but as far as academic education, she did not have that. But she knew how to go out there and hustle and make money and bring it home and take care of us. And, it was just amazing. And one of the things that really stood out for me is when we're home and we're hungry, have nothing to eat, you go in the cupboard, there's nothing. You really don't see anything that we can prepare. She goes in there, man.
It's magical, right? It's magical.
She said, you guys just go sit in the living room, watch TV, do your homework. Man, in about 45 minutes to an hour, we got dinner. I'm going, where did you get dinner from? We didn't see anything inside the cupboard. She said, you don't worry about it. I got my ways. Man, it was unbelievable, man.
They had magical powers.
Yes.
They really had magical powers where they just found stuff and made things happen. And Christmas, regardless of what the situation was, there was something under the tree for you.
Yes.
I know my mom was amazing, and my grandmother. Oh my God, my grandmother had 13 kids, and and so she no education, and she made some amazing things happen. All her kids went, the ones that 13 kids. She had 13 kids, but 9 of them actually lived. All of them went to college. Somewhere in there, my grandfather passed away in that, and she got her last 4 into college. Like, lady, what? Wow, lady.
And you're going, where did she get the money from? She got the know-how. Where did she get this? It's just unbelievable, man.
It's just unbelievable what they're capable of doing. So I know I get my fortitude from the women, or from her, from my grandmother. She was just a phenomenal lady, mean but phenomenal. but I know the fight and the pride and the and the confidence comes from being my grandmother's child, and then she passed that on to her daughters. And so the women in my family are absolutely incredible, and so I take my hat and pay homage to them.
That's why when I'm home and I'm misbehaving, and she said, don't let me come in there. I'm going, okay, I don't want her in here, because when she comes in there, she'll make bad things happen. I said, I'm going to listen. I'm not going to, because if she keeps telling you to behave yourself or you're not, she just pick up that shoe or anything near her and whoosh.
Right, exactly. What did you and then don't go outside of this house and embarrass me.
Exactly.
Did you get the speech? Because I think it's especially in Black families, everybody got the speech. Greg, I'm sure you did too. You got the speech before you walked out the door. Don't let me have to talk to you. Don't embarrass me, because I will embarrass you back.
I'm sure Greg got the talk every day, man. You see how well behaved he is now.
So there was the talk, and
you got the talk.
Yeah, there was me lickety lack. so Greg got actually beat, obviously. So there was some beatings going on in my house too, Greg.
Melikio, me spit blood. So his mom used to slap him in the mouth.
Moms didn't take no mess.
They don't play, man, but they still get that respect, man. Now,
yes, exactly.
Folks, for those of you who are just tuning in, this is the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. We're on every Friday from 3 to 4:30. And what we do on this channel, folks, in case you don't know it, in case you just stumbled across this channel, we take care of small businesses. We provide resource, we provide advice and support and coaching information for small businesses to help elevate them to the next level so they can become business ready, contract ready, loan ready, grant ready, certification ready, and nonprofit ready. So the one thing we've been promoting, guys, on this show is that in 2028, the Olympics will be moving here to Los Angeles. And there's going to be a lot of contract opportunities for a lot of small businesses. Next year, 2024, it's going to be in Paris, France. So if you can still gain access to some of the producers or providers there, you still try to do some business overseas there in France. That would be great. But in 2028, we'll be here in Los Angeles, and we want to make sure that small businesses, women-owned business, disadvantaged business, veteran-owned business, you guys are all ready for contracts and procurement. They're going to be spending over $5 billion, guys, $5 billion. So you want to be ready. And Greg said also the Super Bowl will be coming in 2027 as well. So be ready for that. Now, next year, which is 2024, the Super Bowl is also going to be in Las Vegas. So, it's just, Las Vegas is just a skip and a jump, guys. So you want to be ready, and you want to start checking out opportunities. Our guest, Andrea, she can tell you guys about the Las Vegas landscape, because that's where she operates out of. So she can tell you probably, how to get settled now, so you can start networking and be prepared for that. But just want to let you guys know, folks, and co-host, you want to tell them how to subscribe?
Yes, I do, and I also, it's my understanding, I think that we're going to get the soccer championships as well here.
Oh yes, yes,
FIFA. So that'll be awesome. More opportunities for who?
The World Cup.
Yeah. So the World Cup will be here. So there's so many opportunities. I mean, from now until 2028, there's just opportunities and you have to be prepared. So we're here to help you do that. But to make sure that you're tuned in every Friday afternoon at 3:00, you can actually go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. You can take a picture right now of that QR code, and that will take you straight to our YouTube channel. Or if you don't have your phone with you, you can go over to the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert and hit that subscribe button. We're looking to monetize this network and in order this channel, and we need your help. So we need you to subscribe, and then you'll get firsthand information every time we go live. And have accessibility to some great tips and inspiring entrepreneurs coming on the show to tell their story. So this month, we have, for the 5 Fridays in March, some amazing women that are trailblazers and just doing some incredible things with their business, coming to share with you how they went about that. And on the other side of that, we want you to support them as well. So get over there. Click, go to our channel, click the subscribe button, take a picture here, and it will take you directly there. So that's it, Gilbert.
All righty. Sounds great to me. So, co-host, how was your week?
My week is getting so much better. My month it seems like the onslaught of people preparing for their taxes is mellowed out. It was pretty intense for January and February, but I believe a lot of people are already starting to file their taxes. So they are already ready, which is a good thing. So now this week I was able to do some things. Hey, Marion, I was able to do some things for the Business Zone. So I did quite a bit of marketing for the Business Zone this week and created some marketing tools. But guess what I actually did this week, which I am kind of proud of myself. I used that new, which everybody is raving about, is chat group, Chat GPT.
Oh yes, you've told me a little bit about that.
Oh my God, it's wonderful. So if you guys hadn't had an opportunity to use it, go on over. You have to register. Right now, it's free to everyone. You can put in a statement, or you can ask it to write anything you want it to write. So if you wanted to write a a I did it for the business zone. I asked to write a advertisement for the subscription of to subscribe to our channel, and it just came up with this beautiful, well written paragraph, and
Wow.
so I was able to use that. But and it's, to my understanding, you can put anything in there. If you need a whole presentation on anything, it will create a whole presentation for you. It will write a book for you, actually, from my understanding.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
so,
amazing.
and that's Chat GPT, and it's
Mhm.
artificial. You have to go in and do some tweaking, but it's got some amazing capacities to it. So
Wow.
that's kind of what I did this week. It was quiet, and it was good. It was a good week.
Wow.
So,
That's great,
mhm.
Coles. I like that. Maybe
Yeah,
we
how
can use
about you?
that, maybe we can use that to help with some of our public relation information, getting it out there, let people know more about what we do for small business and women-owned businesses,
Hmm.
and maybe last night I was watching the NAACP awards, man, and a lot of women were given awards.
Mm.
It was just an amazing thing. And they had Angela Bassett. She got a whole lot of awards, and a few others. They had the black attorney who represented George Floyd and all of the
Mm.
black folks who got killed by police. He was there. He got a citizen award. You
Yeah,
know,
he's been doing
yeah,
incredible things. George Floyd and the young man that just recently got killed, that was murdered. The one that was beaten, that was killed by the five police officers.
yeah,
He's representing him as well.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I didn't see it myself last night. I had a class last night, but I was looking at all of the clips on Facebook, and again, it's kind of like, I just perfect timing, because a lot of the black actresses are just absolutely incredible. And
yeah,
so I saw a great clip this morning, where they were asking them about what it was to be a woman, and to be a black woman, and oh my god, they just had all these wonderful adjectives, and how they felt about, they were powerful, they were confident, they were, all the things we just talked about just a few minutes ago. So I will go on YouTube and find it and check it out this evening.
the one thing that I just wasn't comfortable about, and me, because most of them are not going to speak to this because that's not their space, but my space is procurement, contracts, and lines of credit. So I'll be speaking about that until the day I die. You didn't hear anyone talk about that, but I would have loved to have heard about, okay, because in that room, wherever the event was, there were billions of dollars sitting in that room, billions of dollars. So I'm going, if we've got that many richness and money sitting in a room at one time, why can't some of them pool resources and help small businesses like us, women-owned businesses, and help to grow them? Why do we have to keep relying on the regular usual suspects, the banks and all of those to support us? We don't need them, because the thing about it is, if they see that we don't need them and we have no use for them, then the barriers that they put up for us will become insignificant, because we're here trying to make things happen ourselves, just like with Oklahoma, in the 1920s, when they had a Black Wall Street. That's people, ex-slaves pooling their resources and coming together to build communities themselves, and they were thriving. There was a lot of millionaires and billionaires back then. You see what I mean? So I would love for that to happen also to us, to our small business community, where we can do it ourselves. Last week we talked about, we should get reparation for about 50 billion, but we know that's not going to happen. So if these guys can pool their resources and just help us, I think that would be great.
And it's so interesting you said that. I've been asked to speak next Tuesday on a podcast. As the co-director of Recycling Black Dollars, and that's one of the conversations that we're going to. That's the conversation she wants to have is about again. We all know that in our communities our dollars don't recirculate, but there has to be a re-education and an education of why it's of us supporting each other so that
Yeah,
we're not reliant on everyone else. And I think some of the issue is that there were those of us before us that fought for integration. But
hmm,
I actually think that you have to be segregated to depend on yourself,
yeah,
and then it's like a interdependence, not a dependence, but an
right,
interdependence
right,
on outsiders. But I absolutely agree. We shouldn't be fighting for acknowledgement. We don't really need acknowledgement, because if we really think about it, in the black community, we're considered consumers. So in that consumption, we're spending $1.3 trillion every year
yeah,
outside of our community. So if we pull that $1.3 trillion back into that community, that would make a powerful economic change
oh yeah,
in the world that we live in. And I think that we are trying to um, fit in where there is no fit in, and we
right,
don't have to fit in. So yeah, I preach about this all the time.
hmm,
Sports, entertainment, um are areas that we don't have to go outside. In the beauty industry, we don't have to go outside of our community in order to have, for everyone to be able to recycle those dollars, because those are the areas we spend most of our money:
yeah,
sports, entertainment, and the beauty industry.
right,
And just that alone, if we embrace that, so that would be all of those individuals that you saw at the NCCP award. We don't have to, you in my opinion, you
mm,
don't have to nominate me for anything in the Grammys or any of that, because I can do that myself. That's what they did last night at the NAACP Awards. Have your own award show.
yeah,
Be your own football player. Be
yeah,
your own basketball. Be your own league. We will come and support you to the point that you still can make the kind of money that you make within that world.
yeah,
But until we learn that, we're going to have we're going to continue to have a difficult time, because it's all about the economics. It's all about the money. If we
right,
bring the money back, and you can look at other ethnicities, the Hispanic community, the Asian community, and as well as the Jewish communities. They spend their monies within their own communities, and and they have their issues as well, but they have a lot more power than us. And it's sad to say, but when I listen to the stats just blow me away, man. We're just at the bottom of everything, and it just hurts your heart that's the case. Yesterday on the community briefing, we had Dr. Giovanni Brashfield, and she is the diversity, equity, and inclusion a guru, I guess, for the secure procurement industry, and always trying to, you know, make that world understand why it's so important for us all to be included. But
mhm,
they don't, they're fine with you being included as you the worker bee. They're
right,
not so happy to have you breaking through the ceiling. So
right,
I don't know. It's just we just have to be much more intentional, and we have to become self-sufficient. That's what has to happen: self-sufficiency, and not look to any other group to validate and value what we bring to the table, because we already know we bring in $1.3 trillion. That's all you need to know. We bring in $1.3 trillion.
well, you know me, I'm always about, empowering the women so that they can do what they need to do and not relying on anyone else, just keep doing their thing, keep knocking down that door, man. Procurement opportunities, contract. lines of credit. Those are the things that's going to make the engine, the economic engine for women-owned businesses run and thrive. So, and this is something we're going to talk a little bit to our guests about today, as to see, okay, how does this work? How does this work? How has it been working for her type of business? Because the type of business that she runs, man, and when she comes on, she'll speak to that. But the type of business she runs is in a male-dominated industry, so that makes it even more challenging. So we'll talk a little bit about that.
Well, that's going to be the beauty of this month. Speaking to women that have had to break through some barriers, and that's why we celebrate this month, because it's not that simple for women. Greg said he's going to be on his best behavior again today because we have guests. Our field correspondent. All right, Greg. But yeah, how was your week?
Oh man, my week was crazy busy. I had a lot of deadlines to meet. As you know, I have one client that is more than a handful than anyone else. So I'm always trying to take care of them and do what I need to do to help them to meet deadlines, even though they don't comply with the requirements. So I have them that I'm working with. I have a few others that I'm trying to help to become certified. Well, one of them I've helped to get her certification with the state of California. So I have two others that I'm working on right now. But it's been good. It's been good.
Awesome. The life and the times of a business coach.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
There was a post that was posted this morning on LinkedIn, and it says, as a business coach, what do you find most challenging about your business? And I guess I would say having to really sometimes push our clients to their greatness, right? I guess that would be if we had to find. Not that we love what we do, but sometimes we have to push them to their greatness because they just ain't gonna go all by them themselves.
Oh yes. Well, if you're ready, co-host, we'll go ahead and introduce our guest.
Before we do that, I'm gonna kick off a little commercial for us.
Okay.
And Greg says getting some of our clients to be adults. Yeah, right. So I'm gonna kick off a commercial so we can have a little commercial break, and then before we introduce Andrea, I do want to acknowledge why we the formal reason why we celebrate Women's Women's History Month, which was declared by President Jimmy Carter, who is currently in hospice. And
is he?
Yeah, he is. So
I did not know that.
Yeah, so I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna do this first for our little commercial. And this commercial should is near and dear to you. So let me share my screen. And the tab is already tabbed, and here we go. All right, what happened? Oh, here.
Do you have a tool that organizes your company's paperwork and takes care of all your record keeping? Does your current record-keeping system send you 90-day alerts to remind you that your key documents are about to expire and need to be renewed? Can you find contracts and procurement opportunities in seconds from any of the 50 United States so you can grow your business? Is your business organized so that you can tell which key documents are needed to efficiently run the business? How about woman-owned, small business, disadvantaged business enterprise certifications? Do you have a checklist of all the key documents you need to become certified? Does your current system allow you to conduct market research from multiple sources and provide you industry and market data in seconds? Well, SmallBizPro does all of that and more. SmallBizPro is the #1 business management, compliance, procurement assistance, and market research assistance tool on the market today. Download the app now and you will be amazed. It's like having 3 additional employees working for you, but you don't have to pay them. What are you waiting for?
Oh yeah, I'm
All
familiar
right.
with that app.
You are.
I'm familiar with that app. That
Uh,
app has helped so many small businesses become organized, business ready, contract ready, loan ready, nonprofit ready. Yes.
there you go. So you guys going over to the App Store and download your Small Biz Pro app. And Mr. Gilbert Buchanan, Coach Buchanan, is the will help you out there. So reach out to him once you sign up. Any special deals for them if they sign up for it?
Well, I put it this way, guys. If you sign up today, I'll give you 30 days free enrollment in the service. And then after the 30 days, then you'll pay a minimal amount, $29 per month. That's it. I'll make sure that you are happy. If you're not happy, you cancel anytime. But I'm sure you will love it because the platform has a lot of contract opportunities in it with the city of Los Angeles, the county of Los Angeles, the state of California, and all the other contract providers. It's got grant opportunities in it. So if you're a nonprofit or for-profit, you can look into the system. You'll find a lot of grant. And also, if you need to be reminded of certain documents that's going to be expired, the system does that as well. So there's so many different things to it, guys. And on top of that, you get hands-on technical assistance. So if you don't know how to use the system, I schedule a Zoom session with you, and I'll guide you, walk you through it, and you just feel so knowledgeable and good about running your business and having a coach to guide you.
And Greg said, who could say no to that?
That's
So we're
right.
going to jump back into our program. So that was our station break for a moment. So I'm going to bring on Andrea. But before we do, I do want to talk about why we celebrate Women's History Month and why it's so important and why for every month every week this month we actually have some phenomenal women. We won't be doing any class and sessions this month. We're going to be bringing on these inspiring ladies to talk to us about their business. But so I'm going to bring Andrea on, but before we actually introduce her, and Gilbert, you're going to take care of that for me.
Oh yeah.
All right, so let's first talk about why we're honoring women. Years before it became a full month, Women's History Month was actually one day, which was actually the International Women's Day, and that is March 8th. Then it went from March 8th through to a whole week. So in 1978, in Sonoma County, California, they held the first known Women's History Week to align with International Women's Day. At the time, women's history was virtually an unknown topic in the K through 12 curriculum or in general consciousness, according to the National Women's History Alliance. The idea quickly spread to other counties and organizations across the country that held their own events for women's history, and a group of advocates began lobbying for a National Women's History Week. By 1980, their goal was realized. In February, President Jimmy Carter issued a presidential proclamation declaring the week of March 2nd through the 8th in 1980 as Women's History Month. In his proclamation, Carter noted that men and women have worked together to help build the United States since the country's founding. He indicated too often the women were unsung and sometimes their contributions went unnoticed, he wrote. But the acknowledgments, the leadership, the courage, the strength, and the love of the women who built America was vital as that of men whose names we know so well. Carter also used the moment to call for the passage of the Equal Rights Amendment, which has been approved by 38 states, but still remain in legal limbo. I don't know if you guys knew that. I did not, but we're still in legal limbo. The 98-year-old former president entered hospice in February after a series of short hospital stays. He's still with us, but he is definitely on in the last season. It wasn't until 7 years after the first National Women's History Week that in 1987, Congress passed a law proclaiming the month of March as the Women's History Month across the United States. Since 1995, each president has issued proclamations naming March as the Women's History Month, according to the Women's History Museum. Biden did so on Tuesday. Women, often women of color, has been on the front lines fighting for and securing equal rights and opportunity throughout our country's history as abolitionists, civil rights leaders, suffragists, and labor activists. That's what this is from Biden. But despite significant progress, women and girls continue to face systematic barriers to full and equal participation in our economy and society, he added. The theme for this year's Women History Month is celebrating women who tell our stories and will recognize women who have been active in all forms of media storytelling, including print, radio, TV, stage, screen, blogs, podcasts, and more. So that is the history and the current status of Women's History Month. So with that, Andrea, we welcome you in this celebration of women's accomplishments and contributions. So Gilbert, I'm gonna kick it back to you to read her bio.
Beautiful, beautiful. And folks, again, if you just joined us, you are watching the Business Zone with Coach Crystal and Coach Gilbert, and we're on every Friday from 3 to 4:30. We bring on special guests who are entrepreneurs in their industry to speak about their business, share their product and services, and how they help the community, how they help to solve pain in the community. Now, this week, folks, we've got a very special guest in honor of Women's History Month, and her name is Andrea Vigil. Now, that's the Latino version. She's Latina, okay? But in English, it's Vigil, Vigil, okay? And Andrea, am I correct, Andrea? Am I saying okay. So, Andrea is an MBA, folks. I want to tell you this. This woman is a star. I met her back in 2017 when I was hired to coach some small businesses in the Las Vegas, Nevada area through the Nevada Contractors Association. That's where I first met her. And the first time I met her, she just impressed the heck out of me. She stood there, she took notes, and she was very attentive, and she asked a lot of questions. She asked a lot of questions, folks, that the guys weren't even asking. So just so you know. So let me tell you a little bit about Miss Andrea Vigil. Like I said, she has an MBA, and she started her business. Her business is called Allegiant Electric Electric, and that's an LLC. She started this business back in 2015. Now, her business is located in Southern Nevada, and she provides a lot of electrical services to commercial, industrial, and residential customers. She's provided all these types of services, folks, and developed such a reputation because she pays attention to detail and she understands that she is operating in a man's world, a man's industry, which is a construction industry. So she had to go above and beyond to demonstrate that she's worthy to be in that space. So her business focused on quality, and her staff also realized the mission of that company. So as a result, cost effectiveness to our client solution was high on top of her mind. She has operated in that space, folks, and in the industry, she's considered a certified master electrician. Not too many electricians have that title, a master electrician, folks. She has that title. Again, like I say, she has to go above and beyond to demonstrate that she was qualified to play with the other boys. So that's really what she was doing there in our industry. She provides over 20 years of experience in the industry, folks. And I believe she has about 6 to 10 employees. She can correct me on that.
We're about 16 right now.
Oh, you're at 15. Okay.
Awesome.
So she's at 50. See, guys, I'm telling you, she's a star performer. She's at 15 employees right now. So let me tell you a little bit about some of the projects that she's worked on. She's worked on the Mandalay Bay Hotel in Las Vegas.
Wow.
She's worked on the Nellis Air Force Base. She's worked on the Quest Diagnostic Center there in Las Vegas. And she also worked on the VA Center, the VA, which is for the veterans in Southern Nevada. She's worked on a variety of other projects, folks. You know, some of these are the Sunrun, it's a panel upgrade. And again, all of this is electrical work for folks. She does LED lighting and maintenance services, LED retrofit, all the current things that's required to be done in the electrical space. She is certified, she is current, she's trained in that. She provides TV and cable installation services for some of these clients, and it's just phenomenal. She is certified WBNC, right? That's mean woman-owned business enterprise. And she also has minority business certification. She has a WOSB, which is Woman Small Business Certification with the SBA. She is DBE and SBE certified, meaning she is Disadvantaged Business Enterprise and Small Business Enterprise, folks. Woman is phenomenal. I can't speak more highly of her because she's just so amazing. So what I'm going to do, folks, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce this amazing lady who I won't even call my client or protege because she's just so awesome. So I'll just say the phenomenal Miss Andrea Vigil. Welcome to this result.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity to participate with you guys. I love watching you every week, and Gilbert's been such an inspiration and a great instructor and coach. You know, when we were taking our classes at the Contractors Association, and I'm also with the SmallBizPro. That is the easiest place. If I need, like just 5 minutes ago, they needed my S4 for my IRS. You could just click on there and send it from wherever you're at. So definitely getting everything updated and making sure it's at ease and anybody can actually, you know, get the documents that you need for your company. It's been very instrumental to us.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, it's our honor to have you here. So tell us a little bit about your journey, especially entering into a man's world. What was that inspiration? Because that's a leap of faith right there.
Right. You know, I started back in 2012. I started working for a neurosurgeon who owned multiple companies. One of the companies that he owned was a solar company. And so at that point, I basically got his business off the ground. They weren't profiting anything. And I started just looking at his receivables and his payables to see where the money was at. Come to find out that he had a lot of solar panels that were just in storage. So I started going to all the storages and trying to understand. I never knew what solar was at that point, to understand what we needed to do because we had deposits to get them on the roofs. And I was able within 3 years to grow his business to over 3 million. In 2016, the net metering rules changed here in Nevada, and they basically shut down every solar company that was out here. So at that point, I had to lay everybody off, including myself and my husband, and we decided to start our own business. And so we started basically a niche market because there weren't any solar companies at that point to service all the companies. So we just started out of our house, just my husband and I. And then little by little, we started getting busier and we started bringing in more people, probably about 3 or 4 people. Then we started continuing, you know, to grow and really on the solar side of it, as well as the service side of it. So we got our office in about 2017, which we've already outgrown. And we're hopeful to get an SBA loan to buy a building at some point. But we specialize in solar, battery storage, and EV charging stations. Perfect time, right? Now that the infrastructure bill is actually just coming into play. So for us, this is a great opportunity to continue to grow. And we were named Small Business Person of the Year for Nevada, as well as Region 9. So that's also for California, Nevada, Arizona, Guam, and Hawaii. So that was a huge honor, which has come, a lot of opportunities. We were invited to the White House in October, and I had the opportunity to sit with the vice president to talk along the side of 5 other companies. I was the only electrical contractor at the table. And we were able to talk about the issues that we deal with as small businesses. What do we face? Coming into a construction industry, oftentimes I'll show up at the job site and they're asking, what is she doing here? Well, fortunate for me, I have a husband who stands behind me and supports me, and an amazing project manager, and they let him know I'm the owner, if there's anything that we need to do or we need to address. And I think being a woman has opened up a lot of opportunities because I'm not afraid to ask the question. Oftentimes, men have their egos sometimes, and they might not be as willing to ask a question. And so I believe it's opened a lot of opportunities for me.
And they don't see you as a threat. So what they don't understand is that you're stealth, you're a sleeper. They're thinking, oh, she's nothing. And before you know it, bam, you take over the project. I love it.
So are they, obviously, because women tend to be we're very detail oriented and nurturing, right? Are they surprised after they start working with you of the value that you bring to the business?
Absolutely. I know that we've built, I believe, stronger relationships with some of our general contractors out of California that are coming out here because, they earn that level of respect. They know what we're doing. They know the quality of our work. Your reputation is everything. Nevada may seem big, but it's not that big. And so everybody knows everybody, what's going on, who's bidding on what projects. And we've been able to continue thriving and growing. I mean, even during COVID, I ended up hiring another 11 people to work for us at that time because we were just so busy. Right now, we're shifting more to the commercial side. We were heavy service, and now we're doing the EV charging stations. We've actually installed 2 for Tesla, 1 in Prim, and that one is 42 charging station. We also did another one in Mesquite, 16, and then we're doing installations throughout the valley. This is things that my team has been doing for many years since we ran the solar company. So right now they're talking about there's a shortage in people that are trained. Well, you know what? We were lucky enough that we had a jump start, and we were Tesla authorized since 2014, 2015. So for us, it's just taking it to the next level, and it's really exciting for all of our team.
So you obviously got involved in solar at the very beginning, and I remember having this conversation with Edison, with our representative from Edison, and they were a little bit taken aback at the fact that solar was here to stay, and that all of a sudden it was infringing on their profits, right? And I was just blown away, and I was asking them, I was like, you guys are a major player in utilities, electric space. How did you not reinvest? How come you didn't invest in being the solar power manufacturers versus having to now repay? Because that's what they were having a problem with. They were having to refund their bills because they just didn't think solar was here for real, I guess.
When I started, Nevada Energy was offering a rebate of $1.50 a kilowatt. Right now, that's long gone. Those rebates are no longer there.
Wow.
Right. Wow.
Unbelievable.
But there are a lot of opportunities, and it's exciting to get into the space. And as we continue to grow, and with the EV charging stations, right now we're also doing 98 homes for Toll Brothers. So just to see how things are changing, now we're putting the charge point charging stations throughout the community. So anybody that goes to the community that's in there, they could basically pay for their charging of their system, or the customer has the opportunity to put the NEMA 1450 in their home as well.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, I'm going to share some fun facts here with you, Andrea, and also with our audience, okay? So you started your business back in 2015. And you know what's amazing about that is, and we talked about this on this show all the time, most of us who start business, most of us minorities or immigrants, women, or veterans who start a business, we usually started from some level of trauma. You know, something bad happened to us and we can't get hired, you know, in a regular 9-to-5 world. So we said, you know, forget this. We're going to do our own thing. And that's how we get started. So when you started back in 2015, there was about 4 to 5 million women-owned businesses, okay? And that's in the U.S., 4 to 5 million in the U.S. Now, as time went by to 2017, when we met, when you and I met, there were 11.6 million women-owned businesses. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And of that 11.6 million, the sales generated by women-owned businesses were $1.7 trillion in 2017. 1.7 trillion. That's just, yes, that's just by women-owned business. So since then, jumping to 2021, there's 1,821 new businesses, women-owned businesses starting every day. So 1,821 new women-owned businesses starting every day as of 2021. That is phenomenal. So women-owned businesses are making things happen. And on the Business Zone, Crystal and I mean, we are doing whatever we can to help that. And as you know, you saw when I met you in Vegas in 2017, you know, I was willing to share anything I can with you to help you to be as successful as you possibly can. And you've done so amazing. So my hats off to you, Andrea. You're just phenomenal.
Thank you. And I appreciate, I mean, your availability. I mean, I've called you in the evenings, like, what do I do here? You know, I just have things that, you know, we run up against. And I've just tried to educate myself as much as I possibly can. Any of the small business classes that they have out there, whether it's the SBA, Emerging Leaders, I attended a UNLV Cox program, I attended SBOP, every class that's out there, I continue to go, because my mom told me when I was younger, if I went to school, I didn't have to cook. So I continue that on in my marriage.
I love it.
I still like to cook. So I'll go to any class that you put me in. I also participated in the Stanford Latino Entrepreneurship Program, and that was a phenomenal program. I mean, right now, we still stay in touch with each other. Everybody just encourages each other and just do business with each other, get business for each other. And it's just, you know, I also serve as a chair for the Nevada Forum for WeBank. So if there's any women out there that are looking to get certified and have any questions, I'd be happy to help them in any way that I possibly can out here in Nevada.
So let me ask you this, Andrea. I know in business, it's very important for us to have mentors, because mentors really help us along and make our lives a little easier. Who are some of your mentors in the industry?
Anna with WeBank. I attended a program with her and I was like, Anna, you know, they're talking about all these certifications and it was just way over my head. I didn't understand. What is a WBE? What is the DBE? What is SBE? And I said, which one should I get? And she said, all of them. So I followed her lead and I've basically gotten every certification that I'm eligible for. I'm also in the process of submitting my Hub Zone certification.
Oh, beautiful.
So that's the next step. I'm hoping here within the next 3 weeks, I'll have that submitted and, you know, we'll just continue to get opportunities. We would like to go after some more government opportunities, as well as the EV charging stations and seeing, you know, on the solar side as well, whether we provide maintenance like we're doing at Mandalay Bay or at the VA. We actually have a really good relationship with them. Yeah. So when it's really windy, then we know, you know what, we need to go check the panels that are up on the top of Mandalay Bay and communicate with them to make sure that everything's still, you know, intact. And just a lot of it is having good relationships and just really following through with what you say you're going to do. If I say I'm going to, go out there and do a job, make sure that our customer's happy, we keep that relationship, and we continue getting referrals, for other jobs.
When you first you know, procurement is all about relationships. So what were some of the things, some of the steps that you took to start to establish those relationships with the entities that are your customers?
I think out here in Nevada, there's a program called SBOP. It's a small business program. And so a lot of times they'll bring in other people from different organizations and give you the opportunity to meet them. And so, basically attending different small business events, actually, having one-on-ones and going out there to see what we could do. How do I get DBE certified? What do I need? I attempted to do my WBE certification on my own the first time, and it was a big undertaking. There's a lot to it. And so then Anna, she's so sweet. I mean, she came to my house before I even had an office, and she did the first interview at my house and assisted me through the process, and I got everything submitted for my woman business enterprise. And then I decided I wanted to get my MBE, which was a little more challenging in my opinion, because then I have to prove my ethnicity. So back in the day when my mom and dad, their birth certificate said white. So when I'm going to try to prove that I'm Hispanic, my dad had passed away in 2016. So his death certificate said Hispanic. So that was one of the things that I did come up against, because it doesn't say Hispanic, on the birth certificate. So those are things that you have to kind of navigate around. And just going out there, and my husband's been in the industry. He's had his license since like 92. We brought on a project manager who has over 27 years running some major projects for a really good company out here in Nevada. And we were blessed to bring him on board. And that's really opened up a lot of opportunities for us. So we're just really excited. I continue to take any class, anything that anybody's offering. And I always ask for advice or what could I do better, and just continue to, self-improve.
I am so proud of you, Andrea. You just don't know it. While you're talking, I'm just smiling. My smile is from cheek to cheek. I'm proud of you. You are the type of client that any business coach wants. You see what I mean? Because you're coachable, you listen, you try to aspire for higher levels and higher levels of success. It's just amazing. So I just want to add on to a little bit of what you said earlier. And I've been saying this for years now to many Latino-owned business owners. And, I think it's a fluke that happened in the society, where when they were born on their birth certificate, people put white instead of Hispanic or Latino. So that makes it even more difficult for them when they're trying to become certified. So now they're going to have to prove that they're actually Latino. And believe me, they do the same thing with me too. They go, prove that you're black. I'm going, come on, can't you see? Look at me. But they go, show me your birth certificate. So they do that. And I think it's a crazy thing. And I'm putting this voice out there right now because I want these certifying agencies know that what they're doing is ridiculous. Trying to tell people to prove that they're Latino or black when they can see for themselves. It's there. It's evident, right? So go ahead, Cole.
And that's not something she would have known about, right? Because I mean, you knew you were Hispanic. You grew up with Hispanic parents, and who would have thought? I do know the strategy behind that, not from you guys' side, but I do understand the strategy behind that. But until you go through that process, you had no idea, right?
I had no idea.
Wow.
I never even, thought about looking at my mom or my dad's birth certificate, at that point. But it was interesting, and I ended up finding out my husband's grandpa, I guess, grew up in the same town as my grandma. So I learned a lot during the process. So it was pretty interesting.
So the families probably know each other back then, right? Huh?
I think that's a good reason why people should go do their DNA and do their ancestry, because you will go back, I know, and see that the census is really where that starts, right? I mean, the birth certificate, but then depending on whoever the census taker is, if that's what they want to put down, then it actually could have some life-changing effects on you. But who would know that? Who would even speculate that the world is seeing you as white when you actually are Hispanic?
Yeah.
And I think we're excited. I know you guys earlier were talking about different things that are coming to, California. In Nevada, we're excited for 2024 for the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl,
My
yes.
husband and I attended, not the Super Bowl, but we went out to do a Verizon tour of the network command center, and it was really exciting to see the energy throughout the whole town. Everybody's excited about the Super Bowl, so I'm excited, and we were able to participate in the Business Connect with the diversity, the small businesses. So hopefully we will also have an opportunity to do electrical work at either one of the events or at the Super Bowl, or any of these places. But we've also pitched the stadium, and I'm out there. I always call Gilbert, if I have need advice or anything. And I appreciate, all your help and your guidance, throughout the years that I've known you, because there's times I'm like, I don't know what to do here. And, it's easy to have somebody that you could, trust and, go back and talk to.
It's a joy to help you, Andrea, and the things you do just inspire me to want to do more for you. It's just amazing. Now, with the Super Bowl coming, I also want to share a story. I don't know if you worked on that project or not, but when you were in my class there in Las Vegas, that class was to prepare contractors to work on the Raiders stadium that they're building, where the Super Bowl is going to be now, right? Did you ever get to work on that project at all?
We didn't work on that project during that time, but like I said, we're hopeful that we do have an opportunity now to, with any of their maintenance and repairs. Or also we did tour the Raiders headquarters. That was exciting as well. So there's a lot of opportunities, and I think there's going to be a lot more opportunities. Everything's going to start moving in Nevada because everybody's excited about the Super Bowl, and not just the Super Bowl. I mean, just everything that's happening out here in Las Vegas. There's so many opportunities for people to, where we're actually talking to other electrical contractors to say, if we get a job, are there opportunities for us to share, employees, or just kind of thinking outside of the box on what we could do as we continue to all grow together.
Well, you know what I'm going to recommend for you? You remember Jerry, right? The lady who run the MGM Grand
Harris, Jerry Harris. I reach out to her too.
Oh, okay, good, because she has connections, and she can connect you with the Raiders Stadium, because she was overseeing that project too, from the MGM side.
Right,
so,
very awesome. She moved. I believe she moved to Chicago though.
She did.
Yeah, I reached out to her a few months back though. She's still in the mix of everything. She's doing really well.
How about those guys over at the Nevada Contractors Association? Do you still speak with them?
We do. So Lamar and I don't know if you remember Lamar with
I remember Lamar, yes.
Yeah, so he is low voltage, and so if there's a job we're bidding on, then we'll call him to bid on, portion his side of it, or he'll call us to bid on our side of it. So we've been working together to see what we could do, to go after bigger projects together. So we definitely stay in touch. I do stay in touch with quite a few of the people in the class.
Okay. Do you remember who the project manager was for the Raiders Stadium? The one who was overseeing? Because I know Kiewit and another company was in charge of the construction.
Whiting and Turner.
Yeah. So if you can reach out to those guys, they know your repertoire, they know your accomplishments, they've seen you and all the recognition you've gotten from the SBA. They know that you're good at what you do. So I would suggest that you just go back and reintroduce yourself, show them some of your accolades. Like here, I'm looking on your capability statement here. You got all these certifications. You got your LDB, which is local diverse business. You got LSB, local small business. You got your ESB, which is emerging small business. All these certifications, man, you got over 7 different types of certifications.
Right. Wow.
I think go ahead.
I am in awe and quite impressed. How is it to do business in Las Vegas as a woman, or in the state of Nevada?
As far as bidding on jobs, I believe that we're a lot more opportunities are opening up. You know, working with Toll Brothers, that brought in a whole new area for us. There's 98 homes, and there's a lot of people, you know, that you're dealing with. We're also looking to partner with Forte Specialties. We're really excited about that opportunity. And, you know, we all go out there, we all, you know, communicate, see, you know, where our piece is, whether it's Anthony, you know, in the field or Mark on the project side of it. We all work together, and, you know, I believe we've gained our, you know, with our reputation, the fact that we know what we're doing, you know, with that experience. I believe when we show up to jobs, you know, they know that we're educated, we know and understand the job at hand. We're capable of doing that because of our past work experience. And I think it's just really opened a lot of doors for us and a lot of, you know, other women as well.
Amazing. Amazing. I'm so impressed, man.
Yeah, definitely impressed. And with Vegas kind of being the city of lights, I mean,
exactly
at night. So those obviously are commercial projects and big jobs. So do you see yourself, you know, I know, I'm sure there are some very established companies that have been there for many, many, many years. Do you see yourself having the opportunity for any of those opportunities in the future?
I do believe, you know, we are looking to increase our monetary limit. Right now, we're at $1 million. When I started out, we were at 10,000. Then we went to 45,000, and then $1 million. We've already been approved. You could get a monetary limit increase 4 times. We've already been approved for $2 million. So we're looking to increase our monetary limit and continue to grow. I'm not going to say never, because, you know, right now there's some bigger, you know, companies out here, but I think there's opportunities where we could potentially partner with them because we're a diverse company where we could possibly get a portion of what they're going after. And so those are things that we've already reached out to other entities that are doing the bigger projects to give us an opportunity to do a part of it.
Awesome.
Do you remember Rebecca from the NCA, the National Nevada Contractors Association? Reach out to her, because she has a lot of connection still with the stadium, the Raiders stadium, and other projects that's going on. Plus, her work is not the same as yours. You do electrical, and I think she does general construction.
Correct.
So perhaps you guys can team up together and go on one of these big projects. But I really do think that will help, man. And since the Super Bowl is like 12 months away, this would be a good time to start networking with her.
Oh, absolutely. We network any of the events that they have going on, all the small business events. We try to, you know, make sure that we have a presence, make sure they know that we're still out here. We're still out here working, and we're eager and anxious to take on, you know, other job opportunities. They always say that I never turn any work down. They're like, we have to move a dinosaur. I'm like, well, I'm sure we can figure that out.
I think I can figure that one out.
I've never moved one before, but we'll figure it out.
Where do you see your business in 5 years?
In 5 years, I hope to have purchased a building by that point. And I'm anticipating we'll have at least another 10 to 15 employees by that point.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Well, you know that to purchase a building, being in your trade or any other construction trade, you can participate in the SBA 504 loan, right? Where you buy this facility and you can occupy 51% of it, and then 49% of it you can rent it out. You can lease it out to help pay your mortgage. So I'm thinking that might be the approach you want to take, and start preparing yourself that way. You see what I mean?
Absolutely. I'm looking for a church that's shut down because they have the parking. And so
that's a good idea. I love that.
My vehicles, we would have the guys come pick them up at the job site. So that would reduce my insurance also. So those are some of the things we're looking into, and, you know, getting ourselves financially prepared for.
Right.
Oh, and that's pretty awesome, because a lot of churches actually had to give up, you know, after COVID. A lot of their participation was reduced, and a lot of them are doing hybrid and a small grouping of individuals. So some of them are looking to downsize, or some of them just actually couldn't maintain. So that's actually a good strategy, is to look for a church or owner. And sometimes I've found with churches, you know, they're hanging on sometimes for dear life. Sometime an inquiry might be a good strategy, because they may be waiting for that. They just don't know how, and hoping and praying for a miracle. And so maybe you might, you know, when you're ready, to reach out to some of the smaller churches that meet your criterias.
Right, definitely. There's one I've been looking at, and somebody else bought it, but it wasn't the right timing for me just yet. But
Right.
I want to stay in a hub zone, and that's, you know, I know exactly where we're looking. I drive through there every day when I take my daughter to school, so it'll happen in due time. I just need to continue getting myself as prepared as possible.
So
Well, awesome.
did you already check to see if your business is currently located in the hub zone? Did you
I
do
did,
that?
and
Oh,
I already checked that I have the number of employees 35% to
right.
ensure that I comply with all of their rules that they're requiring. And it's, you know, the site right now, I don't know if you've applied for the hub zone, but it seemed to have timed out when I was trying to submit everything, and I've reached
Oh,
out
really?
to the FBA.
I'm gonna have to check it out. I'm gonna have to check it out.
So you go
Now,
through the process and you hit submit, and it just kind of takes
time's
a
out.
minute. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. Now, I know there are certain hub zone areas north of you, because you're at the Decatur, right, over
Right,
there.
we're at Smoke Ranch in Decatur.
So north of that, like about a mile and a half north, are hub zones. So check that out and see. I don't know if that's too far from your home or not, but check it out and see, because there's a lot of land there, a lot of open land in that area. So if you can get access to that, then, you know, even get a church, that would be amazing. There's a lady who was sitting in the back of the class. She operates from that area too, and she's in that area. And Lamar, he's over there too.
Yeah.
So talk to those guys.
Right, yeah, definitely. We all stay in touch. And
I
right
know.
now, they knocked down the Texas and the Fiesta. They're building apartments and housing all
They
over
took
the
down the
place.
Texas and the Fiesta
They did.
casino. Oh my Lord! Is it because
Vegas
of COVID? Is it because
Well, I
of COVID?
believe one of them they're going to turn into like a sports something. I'm not sure exactly, like a community center type.
Oh wow!
We've actively been looking, and then I know the city of Las Vegas has another program that we're going to look into as well. So right now we're just really busy, so I haven't had the time to really dive in as much. We just brought in somebody, her name's Dulce, so we're excited to have her on our team, and we're continuing to grow and just, you know, making things happen and just making sure we're ready when the time comes for some of these bigger opportunities.
Co-host,
well, that's a good place to be too busy to be too busy.
You know, co-host, there's a lot of land there in Vegas, man. A lot of land, undeveloped land. You know, so if we want to take our little 40 acre and a mule, that would be a good area for us to set up and develop. Because I think the plumbing is already there, right? In the earth, right?
Oh, it should be, because it's, I mean, a lot of them, I'm not sure on all of the ones, but we've looked at a few properties that just seem like abandoned, and we're just looking at different ideas of, you know, what we could do, and just drive through there, call them, and just go looking at things.
Well, we are so proud of you here at the Business Zone, Andrea. You man, I'm telling you, you knock it out of the park every time. Because every time I talk to you, you have a new accomplishment. I'm loving it. I'm saying, this is great. This is great. So,
It's awesome. There's a number of our guests is saying congratulations to you, Michelle and Marion. So you have a daughter. So what does she think about having a mom as a business owner that's pretty successful and growing?
Well, I have two daughters. So I have a 30-year-old, and then we started all over 20 years later. So I have a 10-year-old. So our 10-year-old, she she has her own business cards. So when the
10-year-old,
the SBA administrator came, she was out there ready to give her cards, ready to take a picture with her.
I love it.
And she kept giving her business card to the principal, and the principal's like, I'm not sure, she keeps giving me this. And I said, well, the lights in the bathroom are out. So, long story short, here we are. We're now authorized through the Archdiocese, and we've been doing a lot of work at her school. And we do a lot of work at a lot of churches out here because now we're authorized, but at her school also. So these are things that a dream of
So she's
hers.
an ambassador.
Little business shirts, and she goes with us out there.
That's amazing. I love it.
Grooming her to take over the family enterprise.
I love it.
And your 30-year-old, is she in business?
She's a realtor. She's doing really well. She lives out there in Virgil in Reno. She's a licensed realtor in California and in Nevada, and she's killing it. She's doing homes over 5 million, and she's just excelling and doing really well out there.
So where is she, in Reno?
In Virgil.
Virgil.
Right, it's right by Reno, in between Reno.
Oh, okay. So that's like 6 hours away from you, right?
Yeah, about 8.
8 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, 45-minute flight though, so it's not too bad. But it's too cold over there right now.
Yeah, I know.
Warm weather back.
Exactly. So were your parents entrepreneurs?
No, my mom raised me as a single mother, as we were talking about earlier, and she just always wanted to push me to continue going to school. My dad came to live with us later. I had a relationship with him, but he came to live with us after his girlfriend died. And my mom, she's always a hard worker. She's worked her butt off, and like you guys are saying, made sure I had everything that I needed, the money for lunch. Now I'm feeling guilty. Like I don't even know if she had lunch and everything, but she worked for the city of Albuquerque for 25 years and retired. I started with the city of Albuquerque when I was 19, and it just wasn't for me. I just wanted more, and so I went back to school and obtained my MBA in Management Information Systems. So I'm a computer nerd. And so when I came out here to Vegas, I was working for Signature Homes and Rhodes Homes, and then I worked for Lake Las Vegas, the developer. And then I had my daughter in 2012, took some time off, and then that's when I started working for the solar company. So it's just stepping stones to get to where I am today. I never dreamed of owning my own business or really ever thought about it, but yeah, I would never change anything. I love owning my own business and running the solar company. We were able to learn what to do, what not to do without our money. And now we're able to, now that it's our money and, we have a vested interest, we're just really, excited all the time on different things that are coming our way and different opportunities.
So I'm going to ask you a question, Andrea, and if you feel uncomfortable about responding to it, you don't have to, because while I was there, I was seeing all these development going on, and, being familiar with what goes on here in Los Angeles, we know there's a handful of usual suspects who control everything, right? So the developer, Siegel, they own a lot of buildings and a lot of hotels and stuff. So did you ever try working with those guys, or is that something you're interested in, or no?
I am going to stay quiet on that.
Okay, all right.
Really great show, and I'm going to keep it great.
I thought so.
Other people who pay me on time, let's say that.
No, I hear that. As a
small business owner, getting paid is important. And if you get paid on the jobs that you're doing, it could be useful to a small business. But we are looking to obtain our GB98, and we're partnering with one of our friends from New Mexico who's running a business out there. So that's kind of our next step of where we're looking to go, so that when a lot of these other opportunities with Tesla come up, we're able to basically handle the whole project. And when it comes to paying, those are pain points for businesses. And at that point, we'll be more in control of getting paid as our electrical company.
Right.
And especially in a business that you need your labor in order to produce your product. And so it's not like in service-based businesses, or where you're the person, you can put a hold on your not that you want to, but you can put a hold on paying yourselves. But when you have employees, that's your legal obligation, is to pay them. And for me personally, when people don't pay me on time, it makes me feel like you just devalued the work that I did for you. It really bothers me tremendously, because if you are a business owner that takes pride in delivering and providing the best service possible, for your clients, and to walk away feeling that you did an amazing job for them. You want them to feel that same way when it comes
Absolutely.
to paying you, right? So that's a pet peeve of mine, is not paying me on time, and for me having to beg for my money after I did a job. That's a major issue for me, because I go into it putting my everything into it. And so when you don't pay me on time for whatever little menial reason you come up with, like I just recently got something that's like, oh, I'll pay you after you change the billing date, right? The billing address. What?
Yeah, I've gotten where they called and, you know, on different things, and they're, well, can you put all the invoices together? Well, I already have late fees on those invoices, so I could put it all on one, but all the late fees are coming along with it.
Exactly.
This amount of time. So
right.
Now
it's those games, right?
Yeah.
And it really bothers. And for me, it bothers me even more because my core of my business is accounting and bookkeeping, so I know how it really goes. So and I know that, you know, you get an invoice in, you verify that the work was done, but you review the contract. At that point, you pay the bill, right? Right. So that's all it should take, unless there's some capital issues where you can't pay the bill. But at that point, be honest with me.
Right.
So it really infuriates me because I know it's not that difficult. It's not that difficult.
You know, as a small business owner, I wish I would have known this sooner, is to get an attorney to really look through a lot of these things, because I'm like, I don't need an attorney. I'm not doing anything wrong. Well, now I have like 3 or 4 attorneys for different situations to make sure that I'm protected, that they're looking at the contracts before we actually enter into a contract. So these are things we learn along the way.
Would that be some of the advice? Because a lot of times small business owners don't feel that they need an attorney, you know, because I'm too small for an attorney, right? It's just, I'm just doing business. So would that be some of the advice you would have for someone, just especially a female? Because I think sometimes they play games with women more so than they do men.
Absolutely. A business attorney is essential. When I first set up my business, I must not, when I, you know, with the use tax and the sales tax, I ended up getting audited, and I had the privilege of sitting with the auditor for really about a month and going through everything. And it was just that when we initially got everything set up, we should have set it up differently, and that would have avoided me having to deal with it. So I mean, it was a learning process, something that I did. But nope, if I'd have given it to an attorney, they may have asked me all the questions ahead of time, and I could have saved my time, you know, dealing with that.
And having them construct your contracts, or definitely review the contracts before you sign them, because we think they're just, you know, contract, right? And we're all excited about having the opportunity for this business. So there may be some clauses in there that we don't quite understand, and the person producing the contract know exactly what that why they put that clause in there.
Right, absolutely.
And there are a lot of contracts from the contract owner that have flow down clauses. That means the owner says, Prime, you're going to have to do these things. You're going to have to make sure there's $5 million insurance. You're going to have to make sure that, you know, there's safety rules, safety clauses. You're going to have to make sure that, you know, there's what do you call that? When you pay 10% up front, what's that again, Andrea?
Oh, the retainage?
Retainer. You pay 10% retainer and all of that. Sometimes that does not apply to the first or second tier subcontractor. So, but they try to pass it down to you also, which means that when it's time for you to get paid, or if you finish your part of the project, and now you want your money back, they're going, you can't get that 10% retainer. You got to wait until the project is over. The project may take another 2 years, and you're going, hey, I'm done with my part. Why should I have to wait for my 10%? Give me back my money. You know, so having an attorney to review that part for you and argue that on your behalf is a good thing.
And even step in when you run into situations like that. I mean, have somebody that you're able to be transparent with, And, make sure you tell them everything so that when they're going to defend you, they know, this is what happened or this is where we're at.
Yeah.
We finished all this part of the work, but they wanted this in addition to that. That wasn't part of our original scope, so that when they go to defend you, they have as much information, to help you as possible.
Yes, definitely.
Good advice. Fernando says smart, and Greg says you either have to have a good attorney or a guy named Vito.
Yeah.
True that.
We so appreciate having you here. And just remember this, on the Business Zone, you can come back anytime because we want to hear your successes. I mean, you're up to what, 15 employees now?
Correct, 16.
Oh, 16 employees. Oh man, that's just such an amazing thing. So the next time you want to come back on the show, you let us know, because hopefully by then we'll get you Hub Zone certified. We'll get you, you start looking at your 504 loan so you can buy your own building. And make sure when you purchase your building, make sure you buy a bigger building than you need.
Right.
Because if you get a bigger building, then you can lease the portion you want for yourself, and then the other portion, let them pay your rent, let them pay your mortgage, so you don't have to pay anything.
Yeah, no, that makes definite sense.
Oh yes.
Awesome.
But keep up the good work, Andrea. Keep up the good work. Is there anything you want to share with our audience? Because we're worldwide, everybody around the world, they're listening.
Thank you guys so much for the opportunity and, the encouragement, everything. It's just such a blessing. And like I said, I serve as the chair for WeBank for the Nevada Forum, and, anything I could do to help any of you guys, or if you have questions, I'd be happy, to assist with certification or, anything along the way. If you're in Vegas, give me a call and we could have lunch and see what we could do to collaborate or do business together here. Or, we're only licensed in Nevada right now, but that doesn't mean, now with our partnership with our friend from New Mexico, that can expand that direction as well.
I want you to be on that Super Bowl project next year. So let's connect with Rebecca, man. Let's connect with her because she knows everything that's going on in the town. Okay, because she gets a lot of contracts from those bigger boys. They love her. So let them fall in love with you too. Give you a piece of that pie.
Thank you.
Greg says today's show was positive and electrifying.
Thanks to Andrea. Thanks for you. And Fernando said he likes the idea about purchasing a building, the 504 with the 504 SBA 504 loan. So then you occupy one side of the building, and then you lease out the other side so that those tenants pay your mortgage.
Right. I'll be calling you when I'm getting closer.
Oh, definitely. And you're connected to the SBA, man. So let's try to get as much as you can out of them. Now, does the state of Nevada have any grants for small businesses? Do they have any grants?
There are different grants. There was one that they just had. It was in Clark County for IT. I participated in a program with the MGM, and one of the things is we looked at gaps, within our company. So one thing is we just put in a server and we bought all new computers and made sure, that cybersecurity, everything was tied down. We weren't eligible for that one because of the fact that it was only Clark County. So I know that there's different grants that are out there. It just depends on, your industry and what's going on out there.
Definitely.
Right, exactly.
But I did apply for one with Verizon recently.
Yeah, and there's been plenty of money still circulating that they're trying to get rid of from the CARES Act. Did you guys participate in the ERC, the Employee Retention Credit?
We submitted everything, but for some reason they said we didn't qualify. I'm having my books basically had to unreconcile everything, brought in a new bookkeeper, having to re-reconcile everything. So now once this is all complete, my CPA signs off on it, then I'm going to submit it to see if we're eligible for that as well.
Yeah, because my understanding, I thought it was because I had clients that didn't apply because their CPA had indicated that they weren't eligible. But when they went back, they found out that they were eligible through some of the ERC representatives that were out there. And I have a client that just received $96,000
Wow.
from the ERC, and when we had someone that did a presentation, and I mean the Lakers, everybody participated, so it had nothing to do with your revenue. Yes,
I think
if you had employees during that time.
I think you should revisit that, Andrea, because you had employees during the pandemic, right?
You did.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
those, maybe not all your employees qualify for it, but at least 5 to 10 of them, because you had those employees during that time. So if whomever you're speaking to can help you, let's try to find another organization that can help you with that, because this ERC funding, it may run out within the next 9 months or more.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think it's the reps that are actually working in that space. That was my understanding from someone that I was talking to. There were some other nuances that they seem to know how to really push it through, and even you doing it on your own. I know the client of mine that got it. It was almost a $40,000 difference.
Wow.
When they actually had an ERC representative put the application in for them versus them do it. So, they just check into that. I know that here in Los Angeles, there's a lot of individuals working in that space right now. So maybe just through your referral services, find out if anybody else has a rep that's doing it.
Definitely. Thank you, guys. If you have anybody that please send them my way. I'd be happy to revisit.
Yeah, I don't know if I do have someone. I don't know if she can do the Nevada area, but I will refer you over to her. And I mean, at least she can give you some guidance, and maybe she may have a referral, reference for the Nevada area. I'll reach out to her today.
Awesome.
And have her reach out to you.
Even if you get 10 grand per employee, that's still good.
Believe me, we could use it. I'll take it.
Oh, always. If they're giving away money, by all means.
Right. Well, I mean, in our industry, we've seen such a change in material, with regards to the prices of the wire and the availability. I mean, there's been times where I need panels on Monday, and me and my husband are driving out to California to go get the panels to have them here by Monday.
Wow.
So, there's things that we've dealt with that we never had to really deal with in the past with regards to material shortages and things like that.
So you're still feeling the effect of the supply chain?
We are in the just different things. So we basically make recommendations to substitute, instead of maybe a Siemens panel, we'll use a Square D or figure out what we need to do. So we're always, working with our vendors to just try to think outside the box. If we have a shortage of material, what else could we use to still meet their needs and pass, code inspections?
So are a lot of your materials made outside of the country, outside of the U.S.? Are they coming in from China or wherever?
I think Mexico. One part of them, the Siemens panels, I know that there's a manufacturer in Mexico. With regards to the wire, I'm not really sure. What the price could go 30% up the next day. It just depends.
Wow.
What's going on.
Yeah. So and that's why I think they still have these grants and stuff that's available out there, because they're external things that you have no control over, and the pricing, with the supply chain issues, that pushes the demand up, and so therefore that pushes the price up. And so as a small business, we're all operating within very small margins anyway. And then it just taps in to the profit of the company. So yeah, I will refer you over to her, and I will send you her information, and you guys can reach out to each other and find out where you can go with that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So
you are so welcome.
I'm putting your contact information in the chat. So if anyone needs to reach you, so I'm putting your phone number and your email. Okay, so folks, if any of you want to reach out to this phenomenal lady, please reach out to her. you'll see the quality and the caliber of work that she does. I mean, this is no joke. You know, these are high profile projects that she's worked on since 2015, and she's gaining recognitions left, right, and center. It's not every day the SBA make you Small Business of the Year. You have to do something impactful in the community, and she has been that. You know, and she's been given the nod so many times, guys. I really want you to check her out. Again, her name is Andrea Vigil, and she's an MBA. She runs a company called Allegiant Electric. It's an LLC, and she's located in Las Vegas, Nevada. And she's just a tremendous asset to work with, guys. I really would love for you. If you've got, and she does commercial, industrial, and also residential projects. If you got anything in the electrical space, solar, LED, retrofit, lighting, maintenance, and you know, they always have a lot of lighting upgrades that need to be done. And like we say, some of these, they're knocking down a lot of the old hotels in Las Vegas. How about is it Piccolo Pete? That restaurant, that hotel, what is it called?
Which is that one?
Something another Pete. When you're entering from Los Angeles, from
Whiskey Pete.
Whiskey Pete.
I think they are going to do something right there because that's right by the stadium.
The state line right there. Yes. Right.
And then I know, well, that's actually where we put our EV charging stations.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, when we're out there,
that's a good spot. That's
right.
A very good spot. Because that's where, when you're coming from Los Angeles, you enter into Vegas right there. And that's always a good spot. When I'm going to Vegas, I always stop there to either go buy food or take a rest or something. So
I always find that spot to be interesting because on the far right side is the prison, right? And so they see all these people coming in and to have a good time in Vegas, and they are incarcerated. And I thought, wow, how cruel was that?
That's a reminder right away to do good like Gregory and stay
Right. I always thought that was kind of interesting. Well, Andrea, it has been an honor for you to kick off our Women's History Month. You've told us your story, and a lot of our guests have been just amazed and found it to be a very interesting, and they have learned quite a bit from you. So thank you so much. You're always welcome to come back. I will make sure you get this a video, and you can share it as well on your Facebook pages and your social media and your website.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
And you were awesome since this is your first podcast.
She did very well, man. She's amazing. She was very composed, you know, relaxed.
So to many more.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. So we're going to close out, but I do want to share who our guest is next week. So Marian Lopez, who is the founder and CEO of Mama Cheesecake, will be on. She's been visiting us every week, and we're so happy to have her on the show. So she's going to be one of our next phenomenal woman who is going to grace our stage here. And so we are just honored. As I said, that Women's History Month is very important to me. A lot of my clients are women. And as a coach, I spend a lot of time mentoring and lifting them up to know that we are capable with so much more than what people expect from us, right? You know, they have a image of what women do, and then women come along, and as business owners, they are generally phenomenal. Gilbert loves women business owners.
That's right. That's right. Because they're coachable. They listen, they follow instructions, and they get the job done. You know, don't run up my blood pressure at all.
Right. They're his favorite clients. So and in my business, again, I know I've taught a lot of women how to start their own business and how to launch their business. And it takes a lot of encouragement for them to feel confident enough to step out there in being who they were designed to be. And I love it. It's the joy of being a coach for me, especially when they come on the show and they're telling me their story and they've accomplished so much from the time we first started talking to them. So but you are awesome, lady, and I look forward to continue to hear about all of the wonderful opportunities that you that you're going to embrace over the next 2 to 5 years. And when you get your new building, please invite Gilbert and I to the grand opening.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely.
We will definitely come to Vegas.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and know that we're always here. You know, Gilbert is always there for you.
That's right.
So,
That's
and
right.
everyone that's tuned in, thank you. If you guys, so here's who's going to be on next week, and we have Mrs. Marian Lopez, and then the rest of the guests that's going to be on for the rest of the morning, rest of the.
As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.
All righty, guys. So, Gilbert, you want to take us out? We want to make sure everyone goes over to our YouTube channel. You are tuned into the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert, and we would love for you to go over to our YouTube channel and subscribe. You can take a picture of the QR code. It will take you directly there, or you can just go into YouTube and Google the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. We ask you to hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed today's show, please hit the like button and tell a friend and share and come back next week, because we always have some entertainment for you. Gilbert and I love doing this.
That's right, guys. That's right. And I think it's easier for you to just take your phone, take a picture of this QR code, guys, and just go straight to YouTube and like the subscribe. Just hit the subscribe button, because remember, our anniversary is coming up in July, folks. July. And we're going to make it live. It's going to be live and in person. And it's going to be somewhere in Los Angeles, right, co-host?
Yes.
Somewhere in Los Angeles. So we're going to get a big building and invite all of you so you can meet us live and direct in person at the Business Zone anniversary. It's going to be 7 years, right, co-host?
Wow.
7 years.
7 years.
So when you go over to our YouTube channel, you will find over 600 videos that some of them are actually class and sessions. We don't always have guests. Gilbert and I sometimes do a coaching session online. And so you will find just 7 years of amazing information on how to be successful in business. So we enjoy what we do. And we hope you guys enjoy it as well. So thank you for joining us today. And Andrea, thank you for being our first guest for Women's History Month.
Thank
and
you,
we wish you
Andrea.
all the best. All righty. Gilbert, you want to take us out?
Oh, yes. And we're going to bring Fernando in. Fernando Young, we're bringing him in April. So he's going to be one of our guests. And Marian, you're here too on the call. We're bringing you in, next week, right? She's coming in next week.
She's coming next week. And then the week after that, we should have Dina Brooks. She actually has a graphic business, and she's also a fine art artist. She's absolutely amazing. So she will be here the following week. After that, we have I can't think of her name. Dylan Taylor, I believe her name is, and she actually is a woman. She's a speaker. She empowers and mentors women, and she has a organization, and I believe she's in Las Vegas as well.
Oh,
She has a women's group called Wow, and she spends the time enlightening men on how to be their best self. And I believe our last guest for this month is a young lady named Constance Walker, and Candace Walker. And Candace actually has a very unique business idea. I was so impressed when I met her. During the pandemic, she had a multi-generational household, her children and her mother. And so her kids were able to help the mother with technology and just how to get on her Facebook and so forth, how to use her phone. So she came up with this great idea called Generations Connect. And so she's put together a platform where she reaches out to, she calls them seasoned adults, and she has a platform that when they're having challenges with technology, they can go onto her website. They don't even have to type in their request. They can click a button and use audio and tell them what their problem is. I can't get on my Facebook. I don't know how to use my phone. I can't send an email. They then transcribe that, and that transcription is then sent as a text to youth technical assistance operators. And then they reach back to the older person and to the seasoned person, and they come in and they help her. So it's the youth.
That's a great business.
Right. Isn't that amazing business? The older seasoned adults is working with the youth, and they both are getting some amazing value from the encounter. So I thought it was just a phenomenal business. Bringing the youth and the adults together, and at the same time helping the seasoned adults become more tech savvy.
Definitely.
Yeah, so she'll be on at the end of the month. So looking forward to that.
Sounds good. All right, folks. Well, thank you guys for watching today, The Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. Tune in next Friday from 3 to 4:30. We're going to have another phenomenal guest, Miss Marianne Lopez, Mama Cheesecake, and we'll see you guys next week.
All righty. Bye.
As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman.